Attention all wrestling fans, get ready for the ultimate fan experience at the WCBS WrestleMania Fan Meetup in Los Angeles, California from March 30th through April 2nd. This event will bring together the biggest event in wrestling and your favorite podcast, as well as diehard fans from all over the world. This is the perfect opportunity for fans to connect and celebrate their love of the sport as well as their love of us. So mark your calendars, grab your tickets, and get ready to suck it and join us live. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience of the WCBS WrestleMania Fan Meetup weekend in LA. And if you're not a wrestling fan, there will be other YouTube creator events, including a trip to the brand new Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios. So listen to World Class Bullshitters Live for more updates, and for more information, email worldclassbs@mail.com. Thebestmail.com, jabroni. The Mandalorian is currently halfway through its third season, but if the news is any indicator, it may be its last.
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
The Mandalorian is arguably the most successful part of Disney Star Wars. The show appeals to fans, it appeals to critics, and appeals to retailers. In a sea of underwhelming Star Wars content from Disney, The Mandalorian stands above all else, except in one crucial way: viewership. If you saw last week's video on the topic, that's only half of it. Speaking of halves, let's look at the numbers for the show. The Mandalorian Season 3 reportedly bleeding viewers lost half of its audience in just 4 episodes. Despite the show only being meant to be a Disney Plus web series, the release of The Mandalorian was just the start of a cultural phenomenon that no one from Lucasfilm or Disney could have imagined. Bringing out one of the biggest numbers in viewership of the OTT platform with the release of the first season, the show has continuously and consistently maintained its image as one of the best contributions to the Star Wars cinematic universe. And with the release of the third season of the series, the opening numbers proved again that the show deserves to be in the top spot among a plethora of shows available on Disney+. But it seems like the subsequent episodes that the latest season has to offer might be lacking something that the previous season had, as the viewership of the show has seen a fall in numbers of viewers who are declining at a rapid rate. As the latest season dives deeper into the lore of the adventures of Din Djarin and Grogu in the outer rim of the galaxy far, far away, the response to the opening of the third season also brought the attention of many patiently waiting audience members for the first episode, which opened with a 1.6 million season premiere views on Disney+. But as the new episode of the series starring Pedro Pascal are being released, it seems like a greater number of viewers are opting out of watching the show. According to the reviews on IMDb, the first episode had a staggering 13,597 people rating and giving their insights on the show. But soon enough, the second episode saw a drop in reviews to 11,504, while the ratings were up a solid 8.4 compared to the first episode's 7.5. The third episode gauged a review count of 10,503 and a rating of 7.2. A fall from the second episode yet again. But the real shocker was the release of the fourth episode of the third season, where the number of reviews dropped to 6,236 with a healthy rating of 8.0. This is an alarming situation for the series, as the drop from the first episode to the fourth episode during the run of the third season has been a whopping 60% in numbers of reviews. This points to the problem of people dropping the series during its run. While it can also be labeled as an instance where the audience may want to catch up on the series until the weekend, it seems like a lot to take in, especially when the numbers have fallen this drastically over just 4 episodes of the latest season. With the season's strong opening thanks to the anticipated audience and their excitement to see more of Din Djarin and Grogu, the drop in viewers might be related to the lack of explosive content to spice things up. While the second and third episodes might have provided fans with a more in-depth view of the history and lore of the Mandalorians, the interest of the simultaneous viewers might have swayed too much. So this is extrapolating data from reviewers, but the declining numbers show something besides audience review scores. It shows their apathy. Apathy denotes a lack of responsiveness to something that might normally excite interest or emotion. It suggests a puzzling or deplorable inertness or a lack of passion. That's just one term to describe the word apathy. Fans are apathetic towards Star Wars, but why? Since 2015's The Force Awakens, Star Wars content had split the fan base. Each film featured something that the audiences didn't like. In The Force Awakens, it was the fact that the films were a rehash of A New Hope. In The Last Jedi, it was how they treated Luke Skywalker. In Solo, it was because it existed, and in The Rise of Skywalker, it was just a race to finish where all the parts were rotten. It was an ugly series of films that turned off an audience. This should startle Disney, as they have more untested Star Wars shows in the works for Disney+. If those shows fail to attract an audience, Disney will have a hard time keeping them around. As per Chairman Bob Iger, profitability will be at the forefront of everything. That's why they're making less shows and scaling them back. After years of excess spending with reckless abandon, Disney is now worried, but it may be too late. The damage has been done to the Star Wars brand. In just 8 years, they've milked it dry, and now fans are abandoning the most beloved part of their addition to the Star Wars universe, The Mandalorian. There's still half a season to go, but will fans return? Episode 3 was critically praised, but it angered fans, which has led some to speculate that a bad episode was to blame. Fans have taken issue with Lucasfilm for using Disney Plus shows to introduce new characters. Acting as a backdoor pilot, these episodes push their titular character to the background. Season 2 of The Mandalorian was guilty of this, and Season 3 is no better. It's all a part of the Lucasfilm directive to weave everything together like Marvel. As Marvel is falling apart, Lucasfilm is learning that the interconnected universe only works when planned ahead. Most of Hollywood tried to cash in on that trend, and it's only worked once. But if The Mandalorian's numbers keep dropping, are they even going to make a 4th season? Speaking with the French entertainment news program BFM TV Inside, The Mandalorian creator and showrunner Jon Favreau hinted at where they stand with Season 4 of the flagship Star Wars series. Season 4, yeah, I've written it. We already know where we're going to tell a fully formed story, so we mapped it out, Dave Filoni and I. And then slowly, you just write each episode. So I was writing it during post-production because all of it has to feel like a continuation and one full story. Favreau then lamented, and then he, Dave Filoni, is doing Ahsoka, which I'm in production with him, but he's the writer and showrunner on that. And so to understand what's happening on other shows or even Skeleton Crew, they all take place in the same Star Wars time period. So there's a lot more things to have to keep in mind, and stuff we have to build up from previous seasons of The Mandalorian as well. There's the danger of trying to bring everything together. When one piece falls, the rest do too. The upcoming Disney Plus shows have a large mountain to climb. If The Mandalorian fails to deliver, will there be any value in continuing the show on Disney Plus? Only time will tell. So folks, I want to know what you think of this situation. 3 questions for today. 1, are you watching The Mandalorian Season 3? 2, where do you rank Season 3 among all 3 seasons? And question number 3, who's your favorite character on the show? I call him Mando, but he's got a name, Din Djarin. I like the character. I don't need to know too much more about him because that's what I enjoy. He's a guy in a costume in the Star Wars universe, and that's what most of the Star Wars universe is. A guy in a costume doing cool stuff. I know, it sounds a little basic, but I've liked Star Wars since the mid-90s, which is not as long as it's been around, or as long as some fans have been fans since the beginning, but I do prefer that original Star Wars, and I like The Mandalorian because it's a lot like that, and a little bit of mystery remains intact. So, this whole situation is interesting to me because outside of that 3rd episode that was 50 minutes long and mostly bullshit, I don't think The Mandalorian Season 3 is that bad. The stuff with the Mandalorians displaced on that other planet is interesting. I like the creed, I like the culture, but you know what I think, so I want to know what you think. So folks, tell me down in the comments below, and before you're done today, hit that thumbs up button to let us know that you enjoy the content, as well as letting YouTube know you enjoy the content, and if you feel so inclined to treat yourself during this season, well, you can join the WCBS membership program. We'll have access to exclusive content, videos, our back catalog that's been unlisted, and a whole lot more. So if you enjoy this channel and what we do in entertainment, and there's no better way to treat yourself than with a membership to World Class Bullshitters. So folks, I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back next time with more. Join us tomorrow at our meetup in Santa Monica at 1 p.m. Pacific. We'll be at Joe's Pizza, and then we're going to hang out and check out the area. So folks, that's tomorrow, and if it doesn't seem right up your alley, well then join us Friday, March 31st, for our Universal Studios tour. We're going to be hanging out, going to ride the rides, checking out Nintendo World, all sorts of stuff. It's just WCBS showing you why we like Universal Studios so much. So join us there, and if you can't make it to any of those, but you're still coming to the WrestleMania meetup, we'll see you there at WrestleMania, folks. It's going to be a hell of a time. It'll probably be better than the card, but we're just there to have a good time and not complain. So folks, thank you for watching. Be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other. Thanks for watching today's video. Yes, it's over, but don't cry because there's more, a lot more from World Class Bullshitters. And there's only one way to get it. Hit that subscribe button below. When you do that, you'll get notifications and updates from World Class Bullshitters every time we go live. Basically, you won't miss anything. And if there's one thing I hate, it's FOMO. But the thing most people hate more than FOMO is fear of missing out on World Class Bullshitters, because there's just some things you can't undo. So folks, do yourselves a favor and never miss anything from World Class Bullshitters. One last thing before you go, hit the thumbs up button. Not for our egos, no, they're big enough as this, but it does help us fight the algorithm here, and well, it's man versus machine, and that's the real fight. But if that's not your battle, That's okay. There's one last way you can help WCBS, and that's going over to shopwcbs.com, picking up a t-shirt, a beer glass, a sweatshirt, a poster, all sorts of ways to back WCBS. The difference between us and other YouTube channels is I'm the artist that makes all this stuff, so if you enjoy art beyond t-shirts, you can even read our comic books. We got it all. We're called the epitome of pop culture for a reason, and no, again, it's not for our egos. So folks, make sure you're involved with every aspect of world-class bullshitters, not just for us, but do it for yourself. We're making the change in entertainment everybody out there wants to see. And a special thank you goes out to all of our wonderful patrons who make this content possible. Go to patreon.com/worldclassbs to get involved and help out the channel.